But like after like we played and like the couple of other bands that were playing had played, the venue turned into like a discotheque, and there was just loads of like dry ice, loads of like flashing lights, and it was just like Polish like dunk music just playing like all night.
Yeah,
and it was sick. And the beers were like so cheap, and we just got.
It weren't even all night. It was when I got up in the morning, they were still at it. And then we showed up and were just sat outside drinking tinnies while I was like there, like hungover as shit. And they showed up, and it was like 8 a.m. Yeah,
that's awesome. Welcome to the 60th episode of the Cast That Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show where I interview bands and public figures from the mathcore adjacent communities. If you beautiful people in chat have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them and I'll try to read them aloud. If you like the sub for $5, you get access to some exclusive emos as well as access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming services. You can also sub for free by attaching your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. If you're watching this on YouTube, listening to this in your car, and have no idea what I'm talking about, the show is first shown live on Twitch. Join us every Sunday and Wednesday at twitch.tv/thecastThatEndsCreation for the live cast. With all that out of the way, let me introduce our guest tonight who dropped their pummeling debut album, There Is No God Where I Am, through Church Road Records on April 30th. Welcome in Cruelty. How's it going, guys?
Good, mate. Thank you.
Yeah,
tell us who you are, what you do in the band.
So I'm Gaz, I play guitar.
I'm Luke, and I play drums.
Alrighty. So it's nice to have a one-word name. It's easy to remember, easy to say. The issue is that you might get lost in a sea of other bands with the same names. Just by doing a cursory look on Bandcamp, there's 6 other bands named Cruelty. You guys were also on a comp with another band named Cruelty, but they spelled it with a K. Was this ever like a concern for you guys?
The real Cruelty are a bit abandonous, so...
Yeah, the Japanese Cruelty are fucking sick. So
yeah,
they're the better Cruelty.
They're the real Cruelty.
Yeah.
So this wasn't ever like a concern for you guys when y'all thinking of the name?
No,
I think
is it? Do you know what I mean? It's not like
loads of bands have the same name these days. So
we were going to go for Kings of Leon, but we thought that was a bit too on the nose.
Well, I mean, you guys got lucky. Like, y'all are the first result whenever you Google Cruelty band. So, work it out.
Sweet. There you go.
Why'd y'all end up going with Cruelty?
I think there was a list.
There
was a list of names.
Yeah, I don't remember really.
There was a list of names, and then I think I was like scribbling logos and Luke, you know, like the Batman logo.
Yeah.
Do you know the obituary logo?
Yeah.
So it's like our old logo was like that, and I was drawing. I thought that looks fucking cool, and then I think
didn't we get like Ross to draw one, and then like we were just like, I guess we'll just call ourselves Cruelty now. We've got a logo that says Cruelty.
Alrighty. So your Facebook was made in August of 2017. I assume that's when you guys got together.
Yeah, it's about then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
How'd you guys find each other?
I knew Shafi through an old girlfriend of his in the town where I live, and we used to we'd always like be out and that, see each other about and that, and I knew he was into hardcore, and we were going to shows, and I'm a bit older than Shafi. Well, a bit. I say I'm like 10 years older. 8?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Older. But I'd been in other bands, and then I had some stuff that I wanted to do, and I put it on there's a UK hardcore Facebook group, and I put some tracks on that and was like, does anyone want to do a band? And then Shafi messaged me straight away, and then obviously Shafi and Luke, you've known each other for ever, haven't you?
Yeah, I know Shafi since I was probably 14, I think. So yeah, I just know him quite well, and we're both into hardcore and stuff. So yeah, he just said, this guy Gaz wants to start a band. Do you want to play drums in it? And I was like, yeah. Didn't have anything else on at the time, so I thought, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Nice. So you dropped a self-titled EP in May of 2018, then another one, In the Grasp of the Machines, in April of 2019. It seemed to have made quite a bit of buzz. You guys went on a couple of tours for it. You guys also did vinyl and tapes, and I didn't see CDs. I'm sure they were out there, but you released a bunch of stuff on a bunch of different small labels. So y'all were a pretty big name in the scene at the time, right?
You'd think so. Yeah.
Yeah, funny that actually.
Yeah. No, we've done quite a lot. We like to go out. There's a really good small underground, well, not underground, but there's a good hardcore scene here in the UK that like operates under the radar of everyone else, and it's quite good because you can go 100 miles for a gig. I know that's not far in American terms, but I mean it's like quarter of the country here. You can go 100 miles for a gig and you'll just see the same people, and it's the same sort of. When a new band starts up, it's friends of friends or friends of friends of friends, and everyone's sort of into it. So when you start a new band, you tend to get quite a instant hit, like an instant buzz off it, because it's something new. And also, I think we were doing something slightly different. I'm not saying we would like blaze in any new trails or anything, but there weren't bands around that were doing that sort of sound we were doing at that time, at that level, if you get what I mean, at that small local scene level. So I think that might have helped a bit as well.
Yeah, I was going to talk about your influences and stuff in a little bit, but yeah, y'all are definitely a very different kind of hardcore, which is awesome. You guys also dropped a couple singles, Witch and Burning Your World, and I saw on one of your posts leading up to them being released that a split 7-inch was coming, so I assume these are the songs that were for the split 7, right?
Yeah. That's bit 7-inch is a myth. It's so it's meant to have been coming out for years. So a label called Organised Crime, we're going to do it, that have done like Ringworm, Integrity, all those sort of bands. Then the guy had a kid. Well, no, firstly, the other band weren't ready. Then the guy had a kid. So now we have another label doing it. And apparently, Luke, I got the text the other day.
Oh, this is news to me.
Yeah, the other band have actually finished their recording. So some label, small, I can't remember the name, some small American label is going to print it, and it should be out at a point in the future.
Yeah. I was hyped for that as well. We got like some sick artwork for it, and we were like, yeah, this is going to be sick, and then it just never happened.
I guess y'all aren't ready to tell us who the band is y'all are doing it with.
Oh yeah, we are. It's Rotting Hell. There's no secret to it. Is
okay, dude, that's awesome, man. I'm doing that with it. In between the release of the singles, John, your original bassist, passed away. You guys did an awesome tribute shirt for him and donated proceeds to charity, a charity dedicated to treating and curing type 1 diabetes. Is that how he passed?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm friends with John's older brother. I went to school with John's older brother, so I've known John for like 20 odd years. John was in the band, not right at the start, but pretty much when we've always had the same 5 members. I don't think if like we don't swap about a lot. I know a lot of bands do. So John was always like part of the band, and I've been in bands with John for years and years and years. So it was his brother lived with me as well up until recently. So we're all like quite close, but
yeah, it sucks so much. I'm so sorry for you guys.
It sucks.
That is suck, man.
And he'll be like, he is missed, and he will be missed. And the best thing for us to do is to just carry on with this band and just do it and do it properly. Although John was never one for fucking like doing anything properly.
Yeah.
I feel like we should now.
Yeah.
It's like a driver. It's a driver to do something.
Dude, that sucks that he passed, but that's awesome that you guys are still carrying on with this.
Yeah.
So now you signed with Church Road Records and you put out your this label's also put out stuff from Respire and Palm Reader Mouth Breather. I actually wasn't aware of this label before you guys were dropping this, but they seem to have like a good track record going. And they dropped your debut album, There's No God Where I Am. How'd you guys hook up with Church Road Records?
They just saw us at a gig, innit? They just came down to one of the shows we played in London. I think it was Renounced record release show that we played.
Yeah.
And I think they also had something to do with putting their record out. But yeah, they saw us, and I think they were just into it. And then I think that's basically it. But I don't know if there's any more than that, Gaz. I think
that's
you communicate with them more.
So I got a face. You get Facebook memories. I got a Facebook memories, and I put on Justine's and Sam's band like 7 years ago in Rugby, like this weekend coming, and I knew them. In passing, people from doing gigs and stuff. I knew them from that. But yeah, Luke's right. I think we knew obviously the Renounced guys already, like a couple of them, but didn't know Sam, who runs Church Road with Justine, and didn't have anything to do with like their band as well, Employed to Serve, because they're slightly different scene to ours. I.e., they're a popular band. We're not a popular band. But they've always been about. So I mean, and they came to this gig. They saw us. Justine wrote a piece for us in a magazine. They got in touch with us to ask if we wanted to go on tour with their band. And then on that tour, I think I just hassled the fuck out of them little bits every day, because they used to work for Justine used to work for a different label, Holy Raw, before something happened with that, and that all wound down. And she said, soon they talked about us doing it for Holy Raw, and then as soon as they started this new one, she got in touch, and I said, as soon as we have the masters, we'll send them across. That's not to say like we didn't. We tried to. Obviously, you're going to try and get it released by the biggest label, aren't you? Like, I wanted Motown to release it, but
I was waiting for that Sony money to come through. I was like, I had nothing apart from Sony.
Well, they did a really good job at pushing it. Like, y'all hit, what was it, 5K streams on release day, and like they've gotten you in all kinds of like magazines and stuff. It's awesome. Like, they did a really good job with this.
Yeah. So I think they've kept their press contacts from the old label, which is good, because it is always who you know, and then you still have to be good to an extent. But yeah, they kept that in, so it is really good. It's doing something we wouldn't have been able to do on our own, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, they've got a reach that we definitely don't have on our own. So yeah, it's pretty dope to like see like Kerrang and stuff like backing your music. Pretty dope.
You bring up Kerrang. There was an article they wrote about you guys like a long time ago, and they used an image from another, I assume it's another band named Cruelty. It's like an indie band or something.
Yeah. That was great. I loved that. That was so funny. Because obviously got some fucking intern to just be like, to like do pictures for the piece. You just Google image Cruelty band, and like some fucking idiots fucking popped up, and they were like, oh, that's probably them.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it's really funny.
I messaged them on Facebook and was like, oh, you sort of got to change your name, because we keep getting tagged in. My mate thought we were playing some festival in fucking Whiten, and was like, oh, I'll see you later. And it's like, what are you talking about? Because it was the bands were playing. And so I messaged them and was like, you've got to change your name, and they just ignored us. I don't think they're about anymore, to be honest. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you guys haven't beat now. Like I said, you're the #1 result for a Cruelty band. So
unless Cruelty with a K.
Yeah.
Unless it's Cruelty with a K, yes.
Cruelty with a K.
You guys are pretty adamant about calling yourselves metallic hardcore. You even made a joke, a post jokingly saying that the next person to call you mathcore is going to get stomped. But I wouldn't call you guys like straight metallic hardcore. Like I find that to be more of a straightforward kind of genre with like things like Hatebreed and stuff. And you guys are far more interesting. Songs like Spiritual War, where you got like panic chords and stuff. You have odd time signatures, Very Dark Mood. And you also have like a lot of melodic parts too. So yeah, why do you want to call yourselves metallic hardcore so much? It seems like you're pigeonholing yourself.
Because we're a metallic hardcore band. That's why I don't like. It's different in my mind. Metallic hardcore, yeah, is Hatebreed, and I fucking love Hatebreed. But it's a broad scope. It's a broad scope. Mm-hmm. You can go all the way from that, and you can go all the way across to even I'd say like Dillinger Escape Plan, up to a point where a metallic hardcore band before it went a bit like shit. But like I just, all that stuff you said about time signatures, chords and that, it's not contrived. And that's the problem. Yeah. If you start calling yourself some other genre outside of, because I want to be in a hardcore band and we want the band to be a hardcore band. If we start going and saying we're something else, it becomes like, do we sit around at practices like fucking like note for note? Because we don't. We absolutely don't do that. Everything that we write, like it comes out or it's an idea there and let's do this. It's not like down to that like classical level of let's plan like that. And I would never, I wouldn't want to do that. So if something comes out and it's all over the place, wicked. But if something comes out and it's basic as fuck, great, also.
Okay.
I think we just started a hardcore band. We started a hardcore band. We want to be in a hardcore band. We play hardcore shows, and the music might take on different routes sometimes, but we are just a hardcore band, and that's what we want to be. So yeah, we're not looking to give ourselves much of a label other than metallic hardcore.
And then I think if you listen to it, if you're like, oh, I like metallic hardcore, I'll listen to this band. Oh, it's a bit house as well. It's got some house in it. Great. It's like a bonus to people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Yeah. I would have called you guys more like chaotic hardcore. I know it's just like splitting hairs, but like I said, you guys are very different from more straight ahead like hardcore bands. So
yeah, I think it's an ethic, isn't it? It's an aesthetic about being a hard, like you take the metallic off and you say hardcore, you could have anything in there. Do you know what I mean? You could have like right in from 25 to Life. And fucking like proper chugger, like beat down all the way across to stuff like Daughters and things like that. Like, that's what I like about hardcore. It's so broad.
Right. Well, let's talk about some of that broadness. What are some of the influences that are going into Cruelty?
I think
don't know really.
Yeah. When we started, the first few tracks I wrote were more like integrity type stuff, but with some skronky breakdowns. And then we started writing stuff more as a band, or even if we're not writing as a band and you take, because we never take anything, it never ends up how it was when it's as a demo, or it's when like me or Jake or whoever writes it down on paper, because that'd be boring as fuck. Everyone's got to have their input into it as well. So like initially it would have been like integrity, and maybe even stuff like Undying, bands like that, Entombed, Harm's Way.
Yeah, I think that like in terms of influences, like I don't think we ever set out to be like we want our band to sound like this, we want to sound like these bands. I think we just wanted to start a band, and then as you sort of write more songs and get comfortable writing songs around each other, influences sort of seep in naturally. And like hardcore and metal aside, we're fans of like just music in general. So if we're in a band and we like music and are into it, then we're going to want to write songs that are interesting. And like I say, it's just natural for that to sort of seep into the songwriting process. So
I think we sound like us now on this album. I think on the other EPs and the other song like releases, it was like bits of pieces put together. Whereas this album, it's like everything sounds right. Some of the songs are different, but you can still see that it's the same band. Whereas on the old releases, there were songs even on the same like 7-inch where the songs just sounded completely different. And that's not saying that like one of them was written by me and one of them was written by Jake. That's me. So say one of them, like, I've wrote 2 songs that sound completely different, or Jake's wrote 2 songs.
Yeah.
It's a lot more of a like good mixture now.
Yeah, it's a lot more cohesive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the word, yeah.
So what's the writing process like? It kind of sounds like Gareth, you're writing everything, or is it more other people are bringing, everybody's bringing in their pieces?
He does fuck all. He doesn't fucking do anything. Nah, I'm joking.
I don't even go to practice. For the album, there's been like songs for that album that have been around for like 18 months or so.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Like we knew we were going to do an album, and we started doing demos for it. Not demo, I mean like I started recording stuff at home. Jake was doing some bits as well. I was sending them across to Luke. Shafi came around, did some demo vocals on like 3 tracks. And we like built them up, but because like we couldn't practice because of like coronavirus, we only actually had like 4 band practices for the album. So it meant that when we went into the studio, some of the stuff we were figuring out like on the day in the morning that we were recording, and then recording the drums in the afternoon. And we did that for a lot. And some of the things that came out best are because of that, because you were under pressure. You had to resolve, you had to react to the situation, because you weren't going to leave the recording studio without doing it.
That's interesting.
There was a couple times when like it was like just me and you met up and we're just working out songs. A lot of them pretty much just started as like a couple of riffs one after another, but you know, you get together and you figure out ways to fit them together, and like then you go off on that tangent and you got a song. And then some songs are unfinished and you go into the studio and you finish them, and then it's like different to how you would have imagined it. Like Gaz said, like I think some of the stuff that was like unfinished or that needed changing came out better like when we did it on the day that we were recording it.
It's like you can't jam bands like this. And as much as I'd like to, all of us, although Luke, I reckon me and you could jam, but as much as I'd like to get
everyone else is shit, us two are sick.
As much as I'd like, you can't. No, but do you know what I mean? You could jam with Jimmy, because you can't. You put 4 people, like musicians, different instruments, trying to play this sort of shit together without planning it. It's just going to sound horrible. You'll come out of the practice and you'll be like, oh, we haven't got anything done. Whereas, do you know what I mean? With like an indie band or like post-rock or bands or something, you can just get, and you can sit there and you can like form a song after playing some chords. But like this, you can't. So someone always has to come and say, oh, I've got this riff or I've got this drum beat, and then go from that.
Okay. It's interesting that you guys work better under pressure. A lot of other people wouldn't be able to like hold up to that. So just
We're gonna
says something about you.
We're gonna
like that.
Order the next LP under pressure.
Yeah, we're gonna not write anything and be like, right, it's out in 2 weeks. We got to record it in 3 days. Let's fucking go.
Yeah,
I want that shit. I want someone to shout at me, be like, you're playing it fucking wrong. Do it properly.
Do better.
Well, let's talk about the recording process. So it was recorded by Ian Bolt at Stuck on a Name and mastered by Brad Boatwright, which is what you guys have been doing for all your other releases. Except this time around, you had it mixed by Taylor Young. So why put in another step in the process?
To push ourselves, so it wasn't the same as the others. Yeah. So we wanted we talked about Kurt Ballou doing it, and then he was just too expensive.
Yeah, way too expensive.
Too expensive for a band doing their first album with no advance, doing it themselves.
Yeah.
And also with the amount you pay in, I think you're not going to get the full experience unless you're in the room. Mm-hmm. And one of our friends' bands had done a mix with Taylor before, and it had come out well, and they said he was quite good to work with, like over emails. And obviously I his recordings are just great anyway. Like
and you love emails as well, so you know.
I do fucking love emails. Emails and spreadsheets, and he got a big. Soon as we got the first draft mixes back, I sent him like the biggest spreadsheet with like minutes and seconds, and do this EQ change here, drop the or I hated it. But no, I really like the second Zabalba album, Hasta la Muerta, and he recorded that, and like when he'd done the. I can't remember which. He didn't record all the Nails albums, but I think he did the second Nails album, even though he's in them. He did. I think he recorded the second one, and it sounds great because it sounds horrible, but you can hear everything.
Okay. So you've worked with Ian for a long time. I guess you have like a whole what do you call it, formula down at this point for like how to go about recording things.
Yeah, I love Ian. Working with Ian's sick. He just sort of like lets you crack on with it, and he's never like too like intrusive in what you got going on. He just sort of like sets you up and lets you go in. If you need advice or you're unsure about something, he's always got like a little bit of wisdom to give. But yeah, he just sort of lets us crack on with it, and like just sits there and it's like, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like it's good. It suits us anyway.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, some chips. Yeah, I love Bo. He's great. This is exactly what Luke said. It is perfect for how we record. If someone took us into, like, we were talking to people about doing our second like LP, and they were like, oh well, you're going to need like 10 days or 12 days, and we'll do everything to clicks. And we were just like, nah, that's just not how we do it. It's like, we know that what we did 4 days for this album.
Yeah, 4 days. Yeah.
4 days, and they weren't long days. They were like 10 till 10 or midday till 10 at night.
Yeah.
Like that's just how we work, and Bolty knows that.
Nice, just get in there, get out. I like it. It's really fast.
Yeah, but then like it suits the music. I wouldn't want this to be like absolutely perfect on record, because we're not an absolutely perfect band.
Yeah, so we're fucking shit live, so you know, we can't lie to everyone.
So yeah, it'd be a lie, and why would we? Yeah, we just do it. I'm not a like great guitarist, and so why would we sit there playing like 300 fucking play the riff 300 times just to get it perfect?
Yeah. Like we don't play to a click either, because I don't think that's kind of what Ian Bolt does really. But we don't play to a click, and I think it sounds. It just, from a drummer's perspective anyway, it is way better not playing to a click. It's good to like it. Obviously, it depends on what you're recording, but for this thing, I think, you know, the natural sort of like changes in speed and in dynamic and stuff, they just suit the music, because I guess like hardcore as a genre is meant to be heard live, isn't it? It's meant to be played live as well. So whatever you can do in the recording process to like get that across, I think will only benefit it. So yeah.
Were y'all having to like go in one at a time to record stuff, or could y'all be like in the studio at the same time?
We were
all there together.
Okay, cool. Because there's been bands like during the lockdown and stuff that were only able to do like one person at a time or whatever.
No, it was in like the lull.
Yeah.
We had we had like a break
we had like a break before Christmas, and then Christmas like went crazy, and then we had to get locked down again. But yeah, so we did it in the break.
Oh, nice. Got it just in time. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, you guys use Brad Boatwright, who every band uses Brad Boatwright. It's insane. Every time I have someone up here, it's like 1 out of every 2 bands has used Brad at some point. And he's just a pro, right? Like, did y'all even like have to ask him like to redo anything or anything like that, or he just like sent you like the perfect
never
thing?
No,
never.
Haven't even had like much email conversation with him. You put in the form on his website, you send him it, and he sends you it back.
Dude,
That's it.
That's
it.
So you had a couple of guests on here. Vocals by Alec Davies, Dave Little, Connor here, I guess, and Dane Barker. Are these just friends of yours, or are they in bands and stuff too?
Eurodane.
Yeah, you're ordained.
they're all in bands like other bands in the UK scene. So like Dave's band Realm of Torment, we've been on tour with. They're great. Yeah, they're fucking great. Dane and Alec are both in the same band, Mantlet, that are also good. And then Connor is in Mourning as well. So yeah, they're just friends. Always had this idea of having that last track on the album be a title track. And I think that ending, like the ending of the album, was written before the rest of it. So I always
it was.
That was like one of the only ones where there was like a full demo of the ending to be like, yeah, this is it, because I'd sent it to people to be like, I want you to do vocals on this end bit. And I always had that idea. We wanted more people. We tried to get more people, but like schedules and that meant that we couldn't. But it's worked out. It worked out really good, I think, in the end. It's exactly how I thought it would be in my head.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys also had a violinist on here, Laura Popolo. I gotta tell you, man, I have no idea where the violin's at.
It's at the end, last track.
Okay.
Right before the end.
Yeah.
That's just Jake, our guitarist. That's his friend from work. I think. Did we plan to have violin on it or something? I think we did. We wanted strings on it.
Violin, and then we were chatting to someone about doing saxophone, but that like fell through.
Dude, that would have been sick. Holy crap.
Yeah, he was gonna have a sax solo. That would have been sick, I think.
Yeah, it would have been great. Maybe.
But yeah, I think Jake luckily knew someone that played violin, so
Difficult.
Yeah, we got her in.
Difficult to do, like, to her, like, fair play to her, because she was like quite a young girl, and she like came to a recording studio in a different city with a group of lads that she only knew one of, and like fucking stood there and did her bit. So
yeah, she smashed it, to be fair. Like,
why did y'all want to add violin on this?
It suited the ending of the song, and
that song needed that. It would have been defo lifted the song to like a different level. Defo makes it really
good end. Well, pomp. Give it some pomp to end with.
So who did your artwork? I meant to have it up here, but I definitely forgot to add it to.
It was basically us. We did it ourselves. It was
really?
But I say we. I mean, Jake and Gaz and our mate Nelson. They all did it together, and I think Jake's brother helped out as well. But yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know if Gaz wants to talk about it, because it was like more his and Jake's kind of idea. So I'll let him talk about it. But yeah, it's pretty cool that we did it ourselves, I think.
I've got it up on the screen now too. Your album cover. People can see.
There was. I read a bit about art. Like, I don't know anything about art, but I like looking at pictures. I mean, like, so I found there was this art movement called Viennese Actionism, where it's all these geezers wrapped up in like bandages, and it looked good. And the first thing I thought when I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks like the Storm Thurgerson covers for Francis the Mute, the Mars Volta album. And I was like, that looks fucking wicked. So I started reading about it, bought a bit, but I skim read an article, sent it to Jake, and he went super autistic on it and just got well into it. And then basically he had this idea of like having the face, we'll wrap someone up in bandages. He wanted it to be him, but we were like, you shouldn't really be on like the cover of your own album. So then our mate Nelson, like, he's like arty as well, and he's quite photogenic, but you can't tell it's him on the front of the album.
I was gonna say, like, doesn't really matter, does it?
we went round to Jake's, and like him and his brother did all the photos and did all the editing for it. Nelson got all done up in like paint and shit, and it came out really well. Like, Jake should take like 95% of the credit for that between him and
Well, I saw in your Bandcamp, like on the sides of it, you've got like the image of it. I mean, I assume it's him in the white paint, but on the cover it's like black, and it doesn't look the same at all.
Yeah, that's like the inlay art. There's a load of different pictures, and when we do, we're going to do some like tape versions of the album on a different label as well, and we'll use like some other pictures, different artwork.
Yeah. It's like the image has been like processed and scanned and like fucked with like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jake really went in with it, and it's really dope. So
it actually kind of
obviously,
looks like there's like 3 sides to the face. Like on the left hand side, especially, it kind of looks like the way the eyes placed and stuff. That there should be like another face on the side. I don't know.
yeah.
It looks really.
It's like it's weird because I mean I don't even know how he got it to look the way he did, but yeah, he's just super into his art, Jake is, and I think we're quite lucky to have someone in the band that's like willing to design t-shirts and do artwork and stuff.
Oh yeah,
so.
it's a fucking, as much as I like push him for time and stuff and say I need this and this, it's a fucking lifesaver, because imagine being in a band and everything you wanted doing, you had to go to a third party and say, oh, I think this, and like, yeah,
I imagine it saves y'all a shit ton of money too.
Oh yeah.
So you guys did. I could only find one music video from you guys, and it was for one of your singles. Why didn't y'all do a music video for this album?
Because we weren't allowed. We were trying to. We had like.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, we
were going to do a video for the first single, and then we had the place booked, and because of Rona, we couldn't do it.
Okay.
I think we will do a video for one of the songs at some point.
Okay.
If we can do it in the next sort of few months, yeah, we'll do it. If we're into like, because I see this album wrapping up by like November, and then we'll go into second album mode. And if we've done it by November, we will. If we haven't, we probably won't.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Your lyrics aren't on the internet at all. Even for your older releases, I couldn't find lyrics. So why haven't y'all posted them?
Don't know. Can't be asked.
Yeah, I don't know any of the lyrics for the first releases, and the only reason I know lyrics for these new ones is because they're on the liner notes, and some of them we had to write on the day we were recording. So I had some we put in there. Jake had some bits. Shafi had some. We didn't. So they're there. They're just in the liner notes. Did you?
Yeah. If you buy the album, spend a bit of money, buy the album.
Send me a tenner, and I'll leave.
Well, why don't you like have them up on your Bandcamp page or something?
We just don't know them. Only Shafi knows them, and he never comes to practice. So what are you gonna do?
If you listen to it on streaming and that, it's got the lyrics on the album. I know on Apple Music it has, because I didn't know it had, and then you can click like the karaoke thing.
Oh, okay.
So they're there.
Okay. Well, what are they about?
I don't know what Shafi was writing about. Some of it sounds like he's writing about Warhammer 40k, which is fine. That's fine. I think a lot of it's about the album theme. It's about God, and it's about control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think both.
Like anti-religious or something, or
no, but more just sort of like questioning sort of like your own sort of morality and what it means to like be a human in a society that doesn't like really benefit anyone by the looks of things. So yeah, just like loads of different things, but like I say, I actually don't really know. So
alrighty, even you guys don't know what the lyrics are. Y'all should definitely post them to Bandcamp though. It'd be really cool to read them.
That's not my job. Not really.
Well, when we get that Sony label money, when we get signed to Sony, they can do it. I'll let them post the lyrics.
So you guys have a release show scheduled for like July, something like that. So you're starting back to doing shows. How confident are you that that's going to actually happen?
100%.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's happening. You have to be positive. I mean, like if we don't plan and we don't have future plans, what's the fucking point? We have to start. There's too much negativity about people putting on gigs and sorting stuff out. I would fucking put on a gig tomorrow if we were allowed. Go to it tonight if we were allowed, if one was open. And we have to plan. and we moved. It was meant to be last weekend. We're not allowed. Places aren't opening up here until the middle of June. So we said, right, go for the end of July. That means even if they slip on opening up by 3 weeks, we'll still be able to do it, and we're doing it, and it's going to happen, 100%.
Hell yeah. Dude, freaking Australia and New Zealand have been doing shows since September. Like, it sucks that we're unable to do stuff.
Matches. Is we go to watch fucking Australian football matches. I mean, probably not of a good quality, but you still have a good football match. Not
Yeah, and there's a couple other bands like starting to do shows in the US too. So I'm really hopeful that this stuff's going to come back.
Yeah, it will. It will come back stronger. Yeah. Everyone will be so excited to go out.
People will actually mosh to us now. Do you know what I mean?
They probably won't, but people will mosh bands.
They'll mosh to the band before you. And the band. Are y'all planning like tours and stuff right now, or?
Hopefully, we've got a small 4-day thing sorted with our couple of friends' bands at the start of September, and then we are potentially going out with someone in November that we're just trying to tie up at the moment.
Awesome. And plans for coming to the US?
Do you want to pay for our flights?
Like I say, when we get that Sony money, they can fly us out there, innit?
Dude, you could buy a private jet at that point and get it.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the dream.
No, I'd love it. It'd be great. It'd be great, wouldn't it? It's just like, who's been over? Renounced out of our scene. Renounced went over.
Morning when they played FYA.
Repentance went to FYA as well. So, and I think they were paid for themselves. It's like, and I'm happy to pay to get us over there if we can sort out a run while we're there. I mean, we got bands that are friends of bands in America. It's like, yeah, hopefully, be great. Maybe we'll get a support. Maybe we'll get some fucking. If they start Warped Tour again, I mean.
Oh yeah, get straight on that. Yeah.
Warped Tour. Yeah.
So out of the shows you have played, what's your best show so far?
Ooh,
I like playing in that shed in Belgium, even though it was fucking hot.
Oh, that was fucking sick. I loved that.
It was,
that was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was good. It was just like some shed at the back of this guy called Laurent's garden, Mum's garden. And then all the Euro guys show up.
It's a big shed.
It's a big shed.
How big's the shed?
50 square foot. It's quite big.
Yeah, it's quite
50 square foot's like fucking nothing. It's probably like 6-7 meters by like 5-6 meters. It's big.
Okay, it's a big ass shed.
And like, it was 42 degrees on that day. So
yeah, it was horrible.
Imagine how hot it was, like in the shed. It was absolute, like you're playing and your hands that wet that you're just sliding up and down the guitar.
Yeah.
There
was a moment where I thought I might actually die. Like this might actually be the death of me, but
and
that was fine.
Well, there was no lights on, so you could just see people like bouncing side to side occasionally.
Yeah.
And then after we played, when Realm of Torment were playing, I went outside to like try and breathe, and then you could just see the sides of the shed bulging as people got like thrown into the side of it.
Yeah. It was so sick. It was because there was no lights as well, and the shed was so small. It was like trying to like avoid like people's arms and legs like hitting you was like impossible, but it was like so sick.
Yeah, there's a video. One of us sent a video of it in the chat not long ago, and I just laughing because all these like Belgian guys doing like karate kicks at like 7 foot in the air, and it's like nothing was going on like that far away from your face.
Yeah. It was great. Other than that, I really liked we played a good gig in Brighton at that, what was it called, Damages Done Fest at Green Door Store. Oh, that was a good gig.
Yeah.
And then also the one in Millwall that we played for the Lawful Killing release show. That was a great gig.
Smoke. That was because of the smoke machine, weren't it?
Yeah, it was like red lights and loads of smoke. So yeah, it was just fucking sick.
This tiny little like room that was still being built, basically, weren't it? It was all like MDF and that.
Yeah, there was like a couple of fights as well that night, so that was good.
Yeah.
That's That's always good. That's always good. Were you guys involved in the fights?
No, we weren't playing.
Nah, we were playing.
Oh, the fight was going on while you were playing?
Yeah.
That's just a typical hardcore show, right?
Exactly.
What we want.
What are some of your worst shows?
Oh god. Where did we play in Europe where there was like, oh god, the
last one.
No, that weren't the worst. The worst was the one where there was the big geezer. Not Hengelo. I can't remember. There was this place venue and it just stunk of fried chicken, and the guy was like,
yeah, that was horrible.
Here, and it was like the kitchen, and it just stunk of like chicken.
Yeah,
it was
Isn't
rough.
that good though?
No.
And then it was like we played in like, it was like Sunday afternoon show or something. It was like an afternoon show, and there was literally about 2 people there apart from the bands, and some like really bad deathcore band played as well. It was
bad.
We were all tired, and it was just really awful.
And basically he showed us like, oh yeah, he's sleeping here. We looked at it and we was like, not being funny, but like I'm not doing that. So we just fucking found the nearest hotel and was like, yeah, let's go there. You had a great time.
Yeah, we had a pizza, chatted to some Scouse birds.
Yeah,
it was all right. Yeah, it was all right.
I don't understand. Like, if it smells like KFC or whatever, that should be good, right?
Nah, it didn't smell like KFC.
No, it was like greasy fried chicken.
Like oil that hasn't been changed in the fryer for like probably about a year, I'd say, like year-old like chip fat oil and like grease.
That's what makes it good though, man. You got to get all the flavors in there, you know?
Oh, I wish I. To be fair, the food was all right actually. The food was all right. I didn't mind eating the food. I ate the food in it, but I wasn't sleeping on the floor at it like of that place. We did stay in some questionable places, and most of them were fine in it. And like that's what you get with touring Europe, and I can deal with that. But that place was a bit too far in it.
We are divas.
Yeah.
We are divas.
So that's the weirdest place that y'all had considered like shacking up for the night?
Yeah.
No? What's another one?
No. There was like some of those like squatty venues. The thing is though, those squatty venues were all right because the guys there were well friendly. They always, I know, like they gave us paprika and bread for breakfast and shit.
Yeah.
There was something for breakfast. They could have told us to fuck off. And there was always a bed and shower and that. And I know it was like a bit like, and it's just a European thing. Like if you had a venue like that here, it just gets shut down like straight away.
Yeah, definitely.
In Germany, especially, they just love that shit. I like it keeps it alive. Like, what sort of fucking band? Like, we don't in the UK. We don't have like unknown German bands coming and playing here and sleeping in like the venue spots. But in Germany, you can just have 2 bands that are complete unknown quantities go over there, and people actually fucking come out and watch them. It's mad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. It is really good, to be fair.
Yeah.
We don't really have like the squat venues. I've heard of a lot of bands from Europe will tell me about like these kind of venues. So it's essentially like a warehouse kind of situation, or
so in
Germany,
in Germany, like you can get grants and stuff, I believe, from like your council or your local area to have these places. And like you play, like we played a couple of places where like they'll have a venue in there. Then they had a guy at one of them that was doing like bike repairs. They had a cake shop at one of them as well.
Yeah.
And they're just because they have so many like industrial or abandoned buildings, if people can use them, they let people use them. Which is whereas cool. Here, it's here, like you walk around, there's loads of abandoned buildings, but if you were to write to the like local authority and say, can we use it? They'd say no. They'd say buy it. And it's good. It keeps things alive.
Right.
Like we're in small town Germany, like really like if like equivalent, like probably only had like 30,000, even that 30,000 like people population living there, but there was scenes of people into like hardcore.
Yeah,
which is great. It's fucking wicked.
That's awesome. I assume the show with the cake place and the bike repair was probably the weirdest show y'all played then.
That was really good. They had like a techno night afterwards.
Yeah, that was so sick. That was like fucking like that was in Poland. What's it called? Like Rocklav or whatever it's called. But that was in Poland, and that was like I think that was the first or second gig, and we were just still like fresh. We were like really up for it, and like they had like a vegan barbecue, and we just ate like some nice food, and they had like a foosball table. But yeah, like most of these places I think are just bars. Like usually when there's not gigs on, they're just bars that like have live music. But like after like we played and like the couple of other bands that were playing had played, the venue turned into like a discotheque, and there was just loads of like dry ice, loads of like flashing lights, and it was just like Polish like dunk music just playing like all night.
Yeah,
And it was sick. And the beers were like so cheap, and we just got.
It weren't even all night. It was when I got up in the morning, they were still at it. And then we showed up and were just sat outside drinking tinnies while I was like there, like hungover as shit. And they showed up, and it was like 8 in the morning. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's so good.
I also loved the other sick one was when we played with fucking Nocturne, when we played with that black metal band in fucking in Holland. That was like another one of the sickest gigs. We rocked up, and it was like us and Realm with Stormy, who we was on tour with, and like the headline band with this like black metal band called Nocturne, and they're proper like metalhead geezers, like long black hair, like leather jackets, leather boots, like proper, and they're from like Spain or something. Anyway, we played our set and we went upstairs, and they were stopping above the venue with us as well, and like they were getting ready, and they just started putting all this face paint on and all this fake blood on, and we were like, yeah, this is gonna be fucking sick. And they were so good. They were just like
good band.
They were so good. Just like blast beats for like an hour, and it was just proper like, oh, it was just sick. It was so sick.
They were really good.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird to be paired up with a black metal band, though.
Europe,
innit? Yeah. Europe. Anyone can play.
Put the band on. Doesn't matter what they are.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool when you think about it, but
yeah.
How do you dress your hot dogs? It's a question we ask everybody. Now it's a little weird.
I like it classic ketchup and mustards, straight up.
Alrighty, easy.
I like crunchy onions. Do you know, they have like the crunchy fried onions.
Okay.
Yeah, where they're like dried out.
Interesting. No one said that one before. That actually sounds really good, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's good. I also love a chili dog.
Yeah, best hot dog is best one.
Hot dog. That's good.
After the football, when you've done United 6-1, that's the best hot dog.
Roll over hot dog.
Burger band hot dog.
Yeah, they are good.
You guys are really blowing up right now. Looks like you had, like I was saying before, 5K streams on Spotify and release day. Do you have any advice for bands looking to get their name out there?
Don't start a band. It costs too much money. Nah, jokes. I don't know, really. Don't know. If you start a band, obviously you start a band, you want to get your name out there. But if that's your only intention is to just, I want to like be cool and be a hyped up band, then that's not really the point.
Be honest. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be honest. Just do whatever you want to do. Do it right.
Yeah. And if you make music you want to make and you enjoy it, that's going to translate either way. So don't be scared to just make music you actually want to make. Like, don't think you have to make music that people are going to like. Just make music you want to make. Don't
flip with the tide of the like what's popular every 8 months. It's like that as well. And also, don't start selling merch until you've put out like at least some songs. Always have more songs than merch.
Yeah.
I like that, actually. It's a really good advice. So what was the last album you guys listened to? Or it could be a song.
I actually have it down here, actually. It's this John Coltrane album. My friend got it me for my birthday, and I never heard it before. But yeah, it's this John Coltrane quartet. It's called Creation. Yeah, it's like a live one. But yeah, it's a bit mad. I listened to it like earlier today. It's pretty
playing drums on that.
Elvin Jones.
Nice.
Yeah.
If it's Elvin Jones, that's the classic.
Yeah.
I've never actually listened to John Coltrane before.
Yeah, it's good. I think he's one of them people that there's gonna always like something of his that you're gonna enjoy. So yeah.
There's so much like the big band stuff that he did with like Duke Ellington early on. That's
yeah.
And then like, his more out there stuff. Like my favorite is Money Jungle, even though it's Ellington, and
that one's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's good there.
Good vibe.
What about you, Gareth? What was the last thing you listened to?
I've been listening to David Bowie for like a week straight, basically. So I was listening to Hunky Dory like this afternoon.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. What about albums of the year, either for last year or this year up to this point?
I'd say last year was defo J Hus Big Conspiracy.
What was that?
Don't know. I just J Hus The Big Conspiracy. He's like a UK rapper, and it's just good. It's just like really like good. Like it's just good. And this year, there's this artist called Smurs, and they're from like Norway or somewhere in Scandinavia, but they're on XL Records, and they got an album out called Believer that's really good. It's like pretty futuristic pop, like some interesting production on it. So I'm really enjoying that at the moment. But yeah, that's my thing.
What about you, Gareth?
This year so far, I really like an album by someone called Cassandra Jenkins, and I can't remember what it's called. It's called something about phenomenal nature, but it's like singer-songwriter, but it's more drawn out. There's nice interludes. There's like spoken word. There's like muted saxophones. It's a bit like ambient-y as well. It's really, I've been listening to it fucking like loads.
That's interesting. Like all the songs y'all have been mentioning, like the stuff you just listened to in like albums of the year, they're like not even metal related, and you guys are hearing a hardcore band.
I hate metal. Really, metal's kind of shit if you think about it. Nah, not really. But I think if you're playing a metal band, you kind of that's where you get your fix, and you don't want to go home and listen to more metal. I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have vinyl, which one of the variants is sold out, which is amazing. Congrats. And you guys got shirts and CDs. Do you have anything you can show off to us?
I've got a record actually right here. I can show off my one. There you go. There's the record. There's the back. I don't know. I'm pretty stoked on it. It's quite nice to like have like your music on a record. It feels like real.
Is that the what was it? It wasn't gold.
It's grey. This one's the grey one.
Grey, that's right.
There's a splatter one and then there's a silver one. I think they're both sold out now.
Yeah.
They're sold out.
Are they going to be doing some more pressing?
Eventually.
All right.
Yeah.
And if you're outside of the UK, it's Death Wish, right? Deathwish.com or something?
Yeah.
This is the distributor, and inside it's a Church Road Records. You guys have any shirts or anything you can show us?
I thought you had loads, guys. Speaking of lyrics, though, all the lyrics are there.
Lyrics, yeah, screen print them.
Screenshot that.
Screenshot that. Yeah. No, I've moved rooms, so they're in the other room.
Yeah.
Oh well, you can look at them online, I think.
They're black t-shirts. There's a black t-shirt.
Yeah.
Sleeve.
Alrighty, well, it's about all I had to talk about. Do you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, not really. Just thanks for having us on. Yes, it was quite fun to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm really glad y'all were able to come on. So if you're looking for something to break stuff to, you should check out There Is No God Where I Am, the debut album from Cruelty, which dropped April 30th through Church Road Records. You guys are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Bandcamp, YouTube. You're also on all streaming platforms. Are there any plugs that I'm missing?
No.
Of course, go through deathwish.com, or is it churchroadrecords.com, or is it just like your Bandcamp?
Records. I think it's limited run or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for me, drop my channel follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube, as well as access to exclusive emotes. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you like the video, please drop a like, click the notification bell, don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation, at thesoundthatenscreation.bandcamp.com. My next guest are the owners of a brand new up-and-coming cybergrind label, Big Money Cybergrind. Join us this Sunday, the 16th at 6 p.m. Central, right here at twitch.tv/the Cast That Ends Creation for the live cast. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you had a good time.
No, it was
Yeah.
great. Thanks for having us on.
Hell yeah. And thank you guys for watching and listening.